So I'm going to put some context to it. I'm going to actually ask the question first, and then I'm going to put some context to it. All right? So the question is, was your local breakers from 20 years ago better than current local breakers today? Now I'm going to drop a name. I'm going to drop a name because I'm actually glad you're here because I want to bring up a particular city.
Oh, Lord.
I want to bring up Houston. I want to bring up Houston, Texas. Salute to Houston, Texas. Now, I remember when I first started, well, I was probably maybe 3 or 4 years into the game. And one of my breakers that was influential to the breaking scene as a whole was Little John from Havoc Koro. I'm dropping names. And I was actually tapping into when Havoc Koro battled Style Elements, not at Freestyle Session 5, but at Freestyle Session 6. It was kind of like a rematch type thing. And it was hype. And I was watching Little John's round. And I said to myself, Freestyle Session 6 was in the early 2000s. I can't remember exactly the year it was. But I remember watching Little John's round. And I can honestly say, and this is just in my opinion, that round was probably hotter than probably the top 5 guys in breaking today. Now, again, he was probably in his prime. And, we're talking about a different time, a different era. But if you were to talk about Houston, and we'll keep it real, Houston produced some amazing, amazing breakers. There's a lot of talent that comes out of Houston. Okay?
Absolutely.
But if we're talking about a particular individual such as Little John, is it fair to say that your local breakers from 20 years ago when they were in their prime better than the current local breakers today?
I would like to go first. Just
you want to go
already,
first?
It's already in the tip of my...
It's already set up. It's fresh, too.
I know. It is. It's already set up, so we have to go there.
Okay.
Because now it's like personal a little bit, so it's like, yeah.
Well, there's
She want to go first.
There's a big difference, though. That's why.
Let's go. Yes or no? You got to stand on it, baby. Let's go.
I would say no. Only because I answer this way. Now, first and foremost, big ups to my new school cats because they're killing it and holding it down for sure. The difference between now and then is the influential statements, the legendary moves that no one can ever touch again. Or again, we're going back to this whole biting situation, right? They are the staple. The 20 years ago B-boys, the staple that have really put the pathway down, that have laid these stepping stones for everybody to be where they're at right now in this moment. So I've always said, and non-biased, of course, Havoc Coral to me is, and Havoc and Coral, before they were together and together, to me are our hometown heroes. Yeah. I put them on a pedestal, to be honest with you. They were the guys that got out of our city. They were the guys that battled the illest people throughout their careers. They are the guys to this day, right now, can go and kill it, smoke somebody, still in that high competitive level. Little John is
We're talking Little John from 20 years ago.
Yeah, no, for sure. I still feel like Little John can smoke a lot of cats still to this day. If you
I
even
didn't say that. I said 20 years ago. But.
No, I think he can smoke people to this day. Specifically, I know that he
to this day.
Yeah, even with him, kind of going into the rocking sector of breaking. Oh my God, that cat will smoke some cats on rocking even to this day.
So then, if we took if I could jump in real quick,
yeah, sure.
We took Little John from 20 years ago, put him in a time machine, brought him here.
Time machine is crazy.
It's a wrap.
It's not possible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a wrap.
I remember at the Seattle when they brought back Lords of the Floor, I was really hoping to see Moy and John, because, they were the first to, be there and do that. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been dope to see them represent. And, I think it was Marlon and somebody else that did. Of course, they did fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Like, even Marlon's still, like, killing it. You know what I mean? But if we're talking about Little John specifically, yeah, man, I think that he holds a very high threshold. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So.
Okay. Rich, let's go to you, homie. Yes or no? Was your local breakers from 20 years ago, and maybe not that long, maybe 15 years ago, were they better than your current local breakers today?
For the record, I'm gonna start with a yes, since we like to do that. Okay. 20 years ago, people at their peaks. But I also do want to add, right? There is the peak that we would see, and there's the peak that they actually were, which only the person would know. And I only say that because, like, as Baby Girl was saying, like, guys like Lil Jon and stuff like that are still rocking, right? Like, and then they're rocking in different ways. And I'm saying that because we might have said in 20 years is 2005. We may have said their peak was in 2005. They may tell you their peak was like 4 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because they've still been training. Breaking is a little bit different now. People break for longer. They're still doing stuff. That might have been the peak of, like, their highlight reels and things like that. But you go to practice with, like, Jersey, and then let's go back to Jersey. Jersey practices right now. Half of the motherfuckers in there. The average age of Jersey hot B-boys right now is like 35. Right? And who knows if that's a good thing or a bad thing, right? We do want more young people involved and things like that, but we're talking about local breakers. But, we can't sleep on our older breakers who have been in it for such a long time, that have been learning the whole time and been progressing the whole time and things like that. So going very specifically, the reason I say yes is because 20 years ago is when I came up, right? And I was in the thick of it, and I was very much inspired by a lot of the breakers that were going on that were also my age. You know what I mean? So, like, I was inspired by people who were like a year older than me or a year younger than me that were just more into it. They were traveling more. They were doing other things. They break different than me, et cetera, et cetera. Now, in our local scene, right, a lot of those guys are giving back. They're teaching. There's guys like me that are giving back, and they're teaching, things like that. And, our young guys are dope, but they're still learning from guys who may, give or take, may be doper than them. Mm-hmm. So it's a kind of a balance. But 20 years ago, like again, if you did the time machine, time capsule, and popped out a squad, if you popped out the squad from East Coast Overdose, and they had to battle the New Jersey heads right now, like the young cats, it would be they would lose.
You can't backdoor that too. Like, honestly, like, yeah, it was 20 years ago, Lil Jon's peak. Yeah, it could have been way different year aspect of that too. You know what I'm saying? So and did we ask this question a little different to him? Because mine was a no, yours was a yes, but we were kind of like in the same kind of ring of things. I said
that they were better 20 years ago. That was like how I started it. But I just was explaining.
So I was like kind of saying this. Did I say no? I feel like I said no earlier.
I think you said yes.
I think you said yes because you already were with the Little John thing, so
interesting.
went into that.
Well, let me ask you this.
But you guys,
let me ask you this. I'm going to drop names.
No, we do. See, that's the thing, though, right? Like, if you're comparing, let's say we're comparing like Kobe to Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, this aspect, right? You have Kobe that was able to study the great blueprint of this.
She didn't say LeBron.
I did not.
I just wanted to say that.
Go ahead.
You so stop it.
Let speak.
No, but he got to study this amazing athlete, for all these years, and then he brought in what he brought in for himself as far as the evolution of what he could do. And he's, to younger generation, they're great, where Jordan is like my great. You know what I mean? So there's still that aspect there too. I guess I'm backpedaling a little bit because I don't want to take away what these kids are going to do in 20 years. So the same aspect of what John has been able to accomplish, then I can see that for Valencia or Marcus or, Ethan or, any of these cats or Jeffro, so their 20-year mark is going to kind of like be the same thing. You know what I mean? So I just want to, I'm like a mom to a lot of these kids, you know what I'm saying? So I never want to show like I don't love them in that same aspect of it, understand where I'm coming from. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah. All right.
Also, generally speaking, breaking is at a higher level now. We're talking about local scene, but if you want to, national or the world, the breakers are better now. Just saying.
Well, Okay, I'll let that slide.
That's relative. That's subjective. That's subjective. That's
that is subjective because you look at like you see who's not creating though, like so that definitely is different.
Yeah. No, it's different. It's different.
All right, thank you guys. So the general consensus with regards to this particular question was: your local breakers from 20 years ago better than your current local breakers today? A whopping 73% said yes.
Whopping.
27% said no. So
I like this. This one is a good one.